Hello and welcome everyone, a new episode of Money Means Business. Today our episode is going to be totally dedicated to efforts exerted by the state to promote and to boost our industrial sector via many efforts exerted on the ground and via fruitful coordination and cooperation among all governmental bodies to reach this goal, to achieve sustainable development goals on the ground and to boost our industrial sectors in all domains. First, let me welcome my dear guest live here in the studio, Dr. Aladin Assal, our medical industry expert. Thank you very much for being with us, sir.
Thank you.
And we are going to speak in more details about all these efforts exerted by the state to achieve this goal. But if you permit me, we are going also to focus on one of the achievements which took place today, as President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi inaugurated today the Bashtil station, or Upper Egypt station, one of the mega projects and another addition to the leap we are witnessing in the field of transportation and industry. And the event was attended by Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli, Minister of Industry and Transport, of course, Dr. Engineer or General Kamel al-Wazir, in addition to a number of top executives. Well, let's speak in more details right after this detailed comprehensive report about Bashtil station. We are going to return back with more, so stay tuned.
Bashtil station is the largest, most modern and most intelligent railway station in Egypt, with its advanced technology and operating equipment. Upper Egypt train station, or Bashtil station, is a train station located in Giza Governorate. It will be an alternative to Ramses station, where the Upper Egypt line trains will start and end. The project aims to reduce pressure and congestion in downtown, and the new station will be adjacent to Mbaba metro station within the third phase of the third metro line, and the station will be close to the path of the second line of the Greater Cairo monorail. Sources in the Egyptian National Railways Authority said that the station includes a main building built on an area of 31,000 square meters, in addition to a garage with a capacity of 250 cars, and a ground floor containing an integrated commercial mall on the first and second floors, and administrative areas on the ground floor for station employees. In addition to 28 ticket windows, as well as restrooms and the glass pyramid area in the main lobby of the station, which is 40 meters high, in addition to the first and second floors of the station, which include shops and investment areas. Lieutenant General Kamel al-Wazir, Deputy Prime Minister for Industrial Development and Minister of Industry and Transport, confirmed in previous press statements that the Upper Egypt railway station in the Bashtil area, which is built on an area of 239,000 meters, equivalent to 57 acres, has a world-class level of services, as it is a giant, smart interchange station with a pharaonic character. The station includes passenger guidance screens, electronic ticket gates, TVM machines, and surveillance cameras. The station will be air-conditioned on all floors with Wi-Fi service and will include a modern fire and alarm system. The station's location was chosen in a central area between Ramses and Giza railway stations, and because it is located in Giza Governorate, which is considered a gateway to Upper Egypt, as well as being the meeting point of the main railway lines in Egypt: Haidam, Alexandria Mbaba, Al-Manshiyah, Al-Qabbari, in addition to its location on 4 main axes that facilitate the transfer of traffic to and from it: Lieutenant General Kamel Amir axis, Sudan Street, Ahmad Aurabi axis, and Airport Street, 26th of July axis. The station's location is strategic linking the station with various means of transportation, railways, the third metro line, monorail, buses on the ring road to serve the public of passengers. The total cost is estimated at £4.7 billion, self-financed from the resources of the Railway Authority, including the station and a workshop complex for the maintenance of carriages and locomotives, and the construction of 10 residential towers adjacent to the station building, in addition to the construction of 2 hotels in the pharaonic style rated 3 stars.
Welcome back, Dr. Ala. If you permit me, we are going to have a phone call just to shed more light on the project or the inaugurations of today, if you permit me.
Sure.
We are very much delighted to have with us by phone Professor Mohammed Al-Sadiq, Director of the Engineering Consulting Center, Helwan University. Thank you very much for being with us, sir, and a very good evening.
Yeah, thank you, and good evening.
Sir, today President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi inaugurated a number of mega projects, of course including Bashtil Station, which is 4 times larger than Ramses Station, in addition to a number of other projects all over Egypt, and of course this inauguration was via video conference. Before going into the details, how do you see this as another addition to the leap we are witnessing in the field of transportation and its pivotal role in promoting our industrial sector in general?
The new Bashtil station, which is dedicated to passengers on the Upper Egypt and the Manashi lines, is aimed to reduce the traffic jam at Ramses train station. Bashtil station generally is located between a number of important axes surrounding the station site, such as Marshal Kamel Amr axis, and also Sudan Street, Airport Street, Mbab Airport Street, and the new 26th of July axis. Also in the south, the old 26th of July axis. This station combines originality and innovation. It helps in achieving tourist attraction and gives a good impression to the tourist as soon as he enters the station building, so the user feels the greatness of Egyptian civilization for the style of the building. The most important information about the station, it considered an exchange between passengers and the goods and connect Cairo to Aswan governorate. The cost is £2.5 billion, and it contributed to provide many job opportunities for the Egyptian people, estimated about 7,500 job opportunity in this project only. The building of the station consisted of a basement, which is car parking, and ground floor. We have also first and second floor. The commercial area include half of the ground floor and the 2 first and second. Also the administrative area at the rest of the ground floor. We have also a multi-story car parking besides the main building. Its capacity is about 1,100 cars. The main building of the station is built on a very big area, about 57 acres, which is 239,000 square meters. Trains have started passing through the new Bashtil station, Upper Egypt train station, without stopping at the station as part of the station trial operation phase in preparation for its official opening, which is will be very soon. The main building was at area of 31,000 meters square. and the car park in the main building, its capacity is 250 cars. We have also about 28 ticket windows in the main building.
Yeah.
The little mosque to serve 500 people beside the station as well. So we have many facilities around the station. This station is considered to be about 4 times Ramses station. It will serve to solve the problem of traffic jam around Ramses Square, and also help our people in Upper Egypt to use this station instead of Ramses station.
And inshallah, it's going to be considered as one of the pivotal, let's say, pillars of transportation, starting immediately to serve not only us, but the coming generations, as President Sisi said today. Professor Muhammad Sadiq, thank you very much for your input, sir, and have a very good evening. Dr. Ala, first, let me again welcome you to this episode of Money Means Business, and let's start immediately with some of the points which were mentioned today by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi as he was witnessing the inauguration of Bashir Station and another of other mega projects all over Egypt via video conference. You know, one of the most important points which were said is the President saying to all businessmen, to all investors, to try to localize industries here in Egypt. And he said that this is the only way to come out of this hard currency crisis, and also to give more job opportunities to our youth. If you want to elaborate on that, or to shed more light on this point in specific.
Well, first, thank you very much for inviting me to your program, so that we may highlight a little bit and give more opportunities to investors all over the world to support our local industry, which we are now geared, and the whole country and the whole authorities are devoting all their resources to make it easy for investors to come over and to move into industry. For decades, and even for the recent few years, real estate was #1 investing opportunity in Egypt. And this is what President Sisi would like to add into these, not only real estate, because there are a lot of industrial opportunities in Egypt that are available here. And this is our duty to explain to viewers and to investors what are the privileges of investing in industries in Egypt, while we are ready and getting ready for it. So how are we getting ready into this? And this leads us directly to why we are doing all these kind of huge infrastructure projects.
This is it. Let me take it from here, because this is a question. Because President Sisi also said that we spent 2 trillion Egyptian pounds in the past few years for the transportation development or renovation. Many people would say, this is exactly what he said. Many people would say, why 2 trillion Egyptian pounds? Maybe those huge sums of money should be spent in other issues or in other sectors. But simply, as the Americans are saying, build it and they'll come. If you want to elaborate on the importance of promoting our infrastructure, our roads, bridges, access, you name it, for promoting our industrial sector.
Well, actually, you raised a very important issue, which is you can easily see it in some negative social media promoters or something like this, when they are asking questions why we are investing in infrastructure. It's very well known. I'm not disclosing a secret or an MBA question, telling or explaining that for any investor, he's looking for four main issues before he comes into a country.
Yeah.
Now, let me put Egypt on a map of investors that they would come from overseas to invest into Egypt. Now, whenever an investor is considering...
No, mention first those four.
Okay, well...
Let's go into those details because they are very important.
They are.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm trying to explain is whenever an investor is planning to come into a country which is not his own country, he looks for four main issues that should be available into that country. Number one is usually access to customers, because if he's coming into a production or making a plant or a factory for producing something, he needs to know that he would be able to sell his product domestically. And this will bring us to item number one, which is customers. We have 116 million Egyptians are living in Egypt, and this is a very good media.
Market.
It's a very good media and market. And this represents about 8.5% of the population of Africa. That will lead us that Egypt, with the geographic situation and location, and now with the proper infrastructure, so Egypt is a gateway to Africa. And Africa is a continent you thought you knew. Africa is still, I wouldn't say a virgin continent, but there are a lot to be done in Africa. Egypt has took the lead. Now we are ready to providing customers. Do you have any idea how
So providing customers, number two?
Well, before getting into number two, I just wanted to elaborate that Africa has got 54 countries. And we have 1.5 billion people living in Africa. Then let's move to number two. Number two is infrastructure. Infrastructure is becoming more and more solid in Egypt, and that's why we are investing in infrastructure. Infrastructure is very important, and as you can see, it's not only on roads or bridges or railroads. We're talking about ports. There has been a
land, sea, dry ports, and these were also some of the achievements which were listed today in the speech of His Excellency Minister of Industry and Transport, General Kamel Al-Wazir. But sir, I wanted just to focus more on those four pillars and to link them to the efforts exerted by the state to let the investors know that the state is keen to provide them with all, let's say, incentives, land, of course, no bureaucracy, taking into consideration that modernizing our industry and localizing our industry is a priority already. And this is the way to say it to the whole world. I mean, here I'm talking about the new entrepreneurs, the startups, the Egyptian, the Arab, the foreign investors, you name it. So let's start with those pillars. First, you said customers. Then? Infrastructure.
We just talked about infrastructure.
Okay.
This is number two. Number three is directly what you have just mentioned, is how would we do this regarding the logistics, and how would we attract investors into this. Now this is number three. Number three is usually what they call it in a slang is a red tape, which is bureaucracy in countries that they are having difficulty in registering their products or taking the necessary licenses to make their plants working and to get the final permit for selling their end user product. Now, I'm not disclosing a secret, but President Sisi in September inaugurated something very important into that part, which is EDIP, which is Egyptian Digital Industrial Platform. Let me elaborate a little bit, if you allow me,
sure.
on what is this exactly doing.
This is the core of our episode.
Well, that's good. That's good. We jumped into the core of your episode, which I'm glad to inform you more about the privileges of this platform, which is eliminating the everlasting complaint that sometimes or in the past there were a lot of bureaucracy or endless procedures for investors to get license for their products or for their plans or for even their end user product. Now this platform is dedicated and planned for those investors to make their life easy. Now any investor all over the world, they can register through this platform. They can the platform will drive him through the steps required to register, and then to a lot of other issues that he can do from his laptop at home or at office or wherever he is. It will take him through from registration up to picking up the proper land and the proper size of land for his plant according to his capabilities or willingness to invest into the country. Now let me give you an idea and some statistics, and by the way, investors, they love statistics.
Sure.
We have, the country has got a ready-made 152 opportunities for investors in different sectors of industry that the country
The number
is
again,
tracking.
sir?
It's 152 opportunities. So investors, they have a choice whether to have their own ideas, or there are already 152 different ideas ready, waiting for an investor to take over.
And all the data are already there on EDIP?
Well, the initial data is on EDIP, but they will definitely require more data when they are registered and the registration is verified. There will be led to other areas of investment.
Let me stop here and represent the other side of the coin, because you are going to find some people saying, or some voices saying, oh, what's the difference between this and the one-stop shop? Another initiative which took place maybe decades ago, but we don't think it works. Do we have the infrastructure ready for such a thing, or this is something which we are going just to try to log in, and after that it's not going to work? What about people who are not that much acquainted with the internet and how to use such a technology? How they can be involved into that? Is it that tough? Only professionals can do it, or it's easy, anyone can do that, not only from his or her laptop, but even from their phones? All these questions and more right after this detailed, comprehensive report, and we're going to return back with our discussion with my dear guest live here in the studio, Dr. Aladin.
In light of the government's efforts to implement a comprehensive plan to advance the industrial sector in Egypt, keep pace with modern technological development and facilitate investors, Lieutenant General Kamil al-Wazir, Deputy Prime Minister for Industrial Development and Minister of Transport and Industry, delivered a statement before the General Session of the House of Representatives, during which he revealed the Ministry of Industry's plans and strategies for developing industrial infrastructure, deepening local manufacturing, providing job opportunities, and enhancing partnership with the private sector. Lieutenant General Engineer Kamil al-Wazir said that there is a national strategy for industry based on 7 axes, the first of which includes deepening industry by establishing new factories to provide part of the needs of the local market and imported production requirements, with the aim of attracting investors with high quality and competitive prices for importers. in light of the Ministry of Industry's plan to develop services in this important sector and take all measures related to digital transformation to facilitate investors to obtain various services to establish industrial activity which contributes to saving time and effort in completing procedures for investors. Where the Egypt Digital Platform was launched 3 months ago with the aim of simplifying procedures for investors and issuing licenses to facilitate investors as well as issuing operating licenses. And the rest of the other services will be launched successively and loans will be provided to all investors according to their requirements. In a related context, Lieutenant General Engineer Kamil El-Wazir, Deputy Prime Minister for Industrial Development and Minister of Industry and Transport, said that there are new procedures to support yacht tourism, stressing that now approvals from one party take approximately 30 minutes only, which will be done successively in the industrial sector through the Egypt Digital Industrial Platform. It is worth noting that the threat of workers in the industrial sector amounts to more than 4 million workers, as Engineer Kamil El-Wazir confirmed that the target is to employ 7 to 8 million workers by 2030, which is double the current number, which helps raise the standard of living in addition to producing high-quality products at competitive prices. The Minister stressed the importance of the human resources qualification axis within the National Industrial Strategy to raise the level of the workforce, which is reflected in the craftsmanship of the industry and the provision of hard currency, in addition to exporting this labor abroad, revealing the export of about 100 Egyptian train drivers to work on German railways, in addition to 140 technicians and engineers in tunneling around the world. Lieutenant General Kamil El-Wazir revealed models of factories that stopped working after they were working, saying that we will give loans to help stopped, closed, troubled and under construction factories, which will lead to increasing the volume of industrial activity and production capacity. It is worth noting that the number of closed factories reached 5,800 factories existing and not working, and the number of troubled factories in the construction phase is 5,500 factories, with a total of 11,500 or 12,000 troubled and stopped factories.
Welcome back, Dr. Alaa. Before the detailed comprehensive report about the Egyptian industrial strategy, we were speaking about EDIP and how it's going to be totally different than other initiatives which were launched decades ago, and unfortunately it did not work the same way we hope it's going to work.
Well, actually, it's good you asked that question to elaborate more on EDIP, on how this platform works. But as you just said, it's much easy to use. It's a user-friendly. You do not need really to be an expert in a computer to use that platform, but you need to have the information. The information that you should have about your data, about the investors.
About the field I'm going to go through.
Exactly. The platform will lead you and will ask you questions that you can easily answer.
Yeah.
The good thing of the platform that even though if you go follow the steps and your registration has been completed and you are eligible to use any of these 152 programs, then it will take you to another page where you can dedicate a land for the land of your choice to build up those factories.
Or other requirements.
Or whatever, but to start with the land, because one of the main questions of any investor that where is he going to be situated, and if the infrastructure of the country, of the relevant country, will provide him with whatever he needs, from electricity, water, transportation, roads, all these kind of things, which Egypt has been striving hard in the past few years to get these ready. So I'm telling investors now all over the world that we are ready. We are ready and waiting for you to come over. Now, through this platform, we are having, and this might be interesting to viewers, that we will be having, already, we had dedicated for small and medium-sized projects, we have dedicated 2.8 million square meters of solid land with a proper infrastructure that would help future plants or future factories. And we have, the government has dedicated as well 12.5 million square meters for giant projects. So it depends on an investor how...
So SMEs are here, mega projects are here, so you name it, it's your choice.
And you choose the plot.
Yep.
I mean, you will be directed to a page when it comes to your turn to choose the land. It will take you to proper locations where you can even dedicate and choose a land and then apply for the relevant details. Of course, you will be requested to provide banking details.
And the platform is going also to inform or to give all data or information about other incentives given by the state, whether it comes to the banking sector, finance, for example, loans, tax, you name it. True?
This is very true, and this will lead us to pillar number 4.
Okay.
I mean, you are really ahead of time a little bit, but that will lead us to pillar 4. Now, one of the main concerns of any investor that is planning to invest in foreign currency and transfer it into Egyptian pounds, for example, if we're talking about Egypt, which is our main interest here, he would like to make sure that we have a stable monetary system. Now, in the past, we had some turbulence in the currency rates and things like this. It was very fluctuating, and that's why investors were a little bit hesitant to invest, because they were afraid a little bit of the currency exchange rates and things like this. Now, the government has addressed that. The president himself addressed that issue, and you can see that in the past 6 to 8 months, I mean, we are having a very stable and a positive remarks from the IMF, which is,
and the World Bank, all
yes, they are giving,
economic institutions.
and even the private institutions, they are giving positive input.
S&P, you name it, despite unfortunate global economic circumstances and troubles around us, and especially in the Middle East. Amen to that, sir. But going through what's going on the ground, because, you know, sir, when it comes to economic challenges, it's the domino effect. I mean, what's going on between Russia and Ukraine had its effects on us here in Egypt, in the Middle East. What's going on, of course, with the Israeli genocide war in Gaza and now in Lebanon, it's having its impacts on us here in Egypt and on the whole world. How do you see this connection, or how do you see Egypt dealing with such a situation? Because the President also said it today, that we are going to continue on the right path, even with implementing decent life initiative in the countryside, developing the countryside, maybe not with the same rate, but still we are going to continue with that despite the current changes and challenges in the same time. If you want to also elaborate on that.
Well, that's also a very interesting issue, but then again, we always, when we learned in MBAs, in all MBAs, we learned, and all of us here know that we can turn objections into opportunities. So we have a lot of objections, just like what you mentioned, which we have, the whole world is facing. I wouldn't name it, but it's here and there. It's in the east and in the west, all over. We are on a hard plate. But let me be very positive and factual as well, is I'm turning, as we all learned, we are turning objections into opportunities. Well, actually, all the circumstances that you have mentioned are increasing the demand of these products in these areas. So if we have an increased demand, that means I can take this as an opportunity as a ready-made customer. So the customer base is increasing. So I can take this into my advantage. For your information, for example, Egypt only, we manufacture medications now, but we do not manufacture the aluminum foil that the pills are wrapped in.
The president mentioned this today.
Well,
He
he should have
mentioned the
done that.
aluminum foil. And he was really very much astonished and wondered how we are importing the aluminum foil and we do not manufacture it here in Egypt. This is it. And let me take it from here to implement all what you have said on medical industries, because you're an expert in that.
Yes.
How medical industries can benefit from the digital platform, or in general the state's efforts to promote industry. But here let me focus on your specialty.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad you asked that question, because this is our opportunity to explain what we can do on the medical industry in Egypt, what we can do for Egypt and for export and for Africa. And this was in the beginning of my talk today, is being a gateway to Africa.
Yeah.
For your information, the amount of money Egypt spends, for example, in aluminum foil, is about $140 million. Every year we are importing these products. That is not only being used in medical products, but it's being used in other areas as well. But this is just a small example. You mentioned in the very beginning, for example, that we are manufacturing syringes, but we're still importing syringes. And for all of them, to your astonishment, we manufacture the plastic part of the syringe, but we're still importing the needle.
Okay.
So there are a lot of medical products that we are still in need.
What are the obstacles on the way not to have such industries here in Egypt? This is the question, because also the president today was wondering how I would spend such huge sums of hard currency in importing chocolate, deodorants, bags,
fragrances,
yes.
And
the aluminum foil, in a way that it's really putting us in front of such a huge challenge to afford hard currency for wheat, for eating, for our bread, for stuff like that. And he said it this way, and you are asking me why there is a hard currency crisis?
Well, he's definitely right, and what he's trying to do is to enhance the Egyptian GDP, which is very important, because there is really it's not in our advantage till now, our importation versus exportation. So he wants to expand the GDP. For those who are not familiar with the product, it's gross domestic product. We want to enhance the gross domestic product, and this can be done, of course, through improving our industries and our exports, so that we can a little bit neutralize our imports. We need to minimize our import and
how
enhance.
make a balance? Because also the president said it today, he is not closing the door in front of importing things, but he said that we should have a balance, to have a big share when it comes to our local industries. Sir, you are a man of industry. I'd like to know your vision regarding the obstacles on the way now. Now, if there is an investor and he want to invest his money in the field of industry here in Egypt, are there still any obstacles on the way, or already the state is really exerting the utmost efforts to eliminate all these obstacles?
Well, actually, this is the main theme of this program is we mean business. We have the government and the whole country is behind all the investors to come over to Egypt. We have facilitated no more red tape, no more monetary restrictions. Anybody can transfer let me put it that way, the revenues or the profits out of his business. And mind you, profit in Egypt is the highest in most of the other countries of the world. Profit here in Egypt is relatively high. If we implement what the government has set as priorities.
What about the human resources, sir? Do we have the qualified cadres to run all these projects we're talking about? Here I'm talking not only about the mega ones, the mega projects, but about the small micro and macro projects and the SMEs, the very small workshops. Tell me, how do you see our human resources?
Well, we are in Egypt, we are skilled labor and skilled university graduates exporting. We are there. We are not only in Egypt, we are all over the world. You can see Egyptian skilled workers are all over the world. And by the way, that will lead us to a very important sector. Maybe it's good to announce it. Do you know that they are rehabilitating now, that the Ministry of Industry is rehabilitating 41 centers for the skilled labor in 17 Egyptian governorate. The role of these centers is to produce skilled laborers that will support industry and to make sure that we have a continuous supply of skilled laborers, that for a certain period of time skilled labor, Egyptian skilled labor, used to try to find an opportunity to work overseas making more money. Now what we are doing, if we utilize the 152 project and we utilized the 12.8 million square meters, the aim in having in the employment sector, we are estimating the use of 7 to 8 million worker. So that will create a huge demand on the skilled labor. And also Lieutenant General Kamel Wazir has realized this, and he already started, and as I said, he made 41 training center in 17 governorates for the benefit of producing skilled laborers. Now we will come to a very important issue.
We have only 1 minute.
Well, that's it. He realized, or the government realized, that also there are existing factories that are having problems. They have dedicated a huge amount of money with an initiative, with a presidential initiative, to give them with something like 8% below the corridor. They can have a loan. Now, if they want to have a loan to expand their factory or something, they can have it with something like 8% below the corridor. Finance people would know what I'm talking about, but they will be receiving money or borrowing money with much less percentage than they could get it from a normal bank. Now, you gave me 1 minute. I still have 20 seconds to close, but I'm telling you, and I'm telling to our viewers all over the world, is come to the world of opportunities, come to the Pharaoh's country. You will definitely have the benefits of this digitalizing, and we will be having more profit to be transferred even overseas.
And I cannot find a better invitation than the one you have already launched now, and we hope that this is going to be implemented on the ground. We are ready to receive investors from all over the world, and also the Egyptian and Arab investors, because it's your homeland, and whenever you are going to work here, simply you are going to make it. And we can make miracles simply if we want. Dr. Ala, thank you very much for your input, sir. I really enjoyed my time.
Thank you. I did as well.
We were very much delighted and honored to have with us live here in the studio Dr. Aladin Assal, one of the experts when it comes to medical industries. And now I'm going to leave you with the most important economic events which took place in the past 7 days. Till we meet again same time on Nile TV International, many thanks for watching. This was Nermeen Abdurrahman.
Ahmed Kochok, Minister of Finance, confirmed that the government seeks to improve the tax situation, stimulate investment and economic growth, and build a more just, certain and transparent relationship with the tax community that paves the way for a strong and ongoing partnership, explaining that for the first time an integrated, simplified and stimulated tax system will be put in place for small and medium-sized financiers up to £15 million annually, including exemption from capital gains taxes, dividend distributions and stamp taxes, and registration and documentation fees for those joining this simplified system. Dr. Sameh Al-Hifni, Minister of Civil Aviation, revealed details of Ras Al Hikma Airport construction, coinciding with the Egyptian state's orientations to launch the Ras Al Hikma project, as the airport is a pivotal step to consolidate Ras Al Hikma's position as a global destination on the Mediterranean coast, to attract no less than 8 million additional tourists coming to Egypt with the completion of this giant city. Grapes are a summer fruit that is found in a large percentage of homes in the world and are widely grown in a large number of countries around the world, especially in the Mediterranean region and the continents of Asia, Africa and Americas, as Egypt is the largest producer of grapes and ranks 6th in the world in terms of production quantity, and is expected to produce about 1.57 million tons of grapes in the 2023-2024 season. Dr. Rania Al-Mashat, Minister of Planning, Economic Development and International Cooperation, inaugurated the Egyptian-Romanian Business Forum in Bucharest with the participation of representatives of about 130 Egyptian and Romanian companies in the fields of foreign trade, communication and information technology, tourism and industry. She stressed the government's aspiration to enhance cooperation with Romania in all fields and encourage joint investment in sectors with a competitive advantage in both Egypt and Romania, especially during this period that is witnessing a great Egyptian-European rapprochement. Major General Omar Abdelaziz, Chairman of the Board of Directors of the Qadir factory, said that Egypt is one step away from manufacturing batteries attached to cars through the Arab Organization for Industrialization, stressing that the organization is currently working on exploring ways to localize the battery industry through the Qadir factory during the next stage. Mr. Yasser Abbas, Deputy CEO of the General Authority for Investment and Free Zones, met with a delegation from a Suez company to discuss the company's plans to invest in the Egyptian market by establishing a project in the field of chocolate manufacturing, with investments amounting to $30 million to meet the demand in the huge local market, as the company is one of the largest global leaders in the field of chocolate and cocoa manufacturing and owns 66 factories worldwide. The National Service Projects Authority is working on implementing a new city for spinning and weaving in Kafr Dawar for the benefit of the companies Misr Spinning and Weaving and Misr Sabagh Al-Bida. The new city is being built on an area of 337,000 square meters and includes 6 giant factories similar to the new industrial city being implemented in Al-Mahalla Al-Kubra as part of the plan to develop the factories of spinning and weaving companies affiliated with the public business sector.